welcome to the Royal Armouries. I'm Keith, this is Mike. We're two of the people whose job here is to try and bring the museum to life for you. And what we just showed you is some examples of possible applications with weapons of the period of the Viking invasions of Saxon England. So we're talking about sword, shield and spear. Now we're not going to talk about them in a warlike context, because wars at this period essentially were actually pretty close-packed affairs. Men didn't get to swing weapons around much. We're talking about the great period of the Shield Wall, where armies marched towards one another, shields locked, held in front of them, crashed into each other and attacked and slashed against men who were just, a foot or two away from them. During the same period, when the Viking influence was starting to spread across eastern England, they brought over the concept of the judicial duel. The idea of two men fighting, sometimes to the death, sometimes not, to decide the outcome of a legal dispute. And in Scandinavia, there were two main forms of this. The first one was called the Holmgang, and that's not the one we're going to look at. The Holmgang is a very, very ritualized style of combat. There would be an audience, there would be judges, the two men would fight, there would be strict rules, a strict area in which they fought marked out. It was all very, very much a question of show, fighting under the microscope, if you like. But there was also another kind of dueling, and that was called the Andvegen. And this often happened, no doubt, when two men simply wanted to fight it out, to settle their dispute, but they didn't want people sticking their noses in. Because of that, they had no real idea of how the invading took place, other than that it was probably simply a matter of meeting in a secluded spot, bringing what weapons we could, and then fighting until there was an outcome. So, what have we got here? We've got, quite plainly, an unarmed man against a very highly armoured man. I'm playing a Saxon, possibly a farmer, who's got into an argument somehow with one of his new Viking neighbours, presumably not realising the man used to be a full-on soldier and has all the equipment. So what am I left with? Well, no armour at all, but a very, very good weapon to use if I don't have any armour. Good one to use if you have got armour, but a good one to use if you haven't, because it's a spear. It's the oldest weapon known to man, but it's also a one-on-one fight. There are no guns. One of the most effective, because with the spear is its length. You can keep your enemy a lot further away. Still, even given that, I'm going to have to work very hard to actually find my opponent, who is
awesome. So, I have come dressed in the equipment available to a Viking Huskarl, or the House Guard, some of the elite Viking warriors of this age. Now, as far as protection goes, in my left hand, I've got a shield. So this is a smaller, round, dueling shield for one-on-one combat. If I'm going into warfare, I'm likely to choose something that can protect me from my chin down to my knees. But I'm already facing off against one opponent, so this will do. Now, we all know how a shield is used. You raise it, you lower it, you move it from side to side in order to protect yourself from incoming attacks. But don't forget, this is a great big chunk of wood and a bit of metal in the centre, so you can use it to strike your opponent as well. Now, on my torso, I am wearing arguably one of the most expensive bits of armour available at the time, a shirt of mail. Now, you'll often hear this referred to as chainmail, which is absolutely fine, but in honesty, the word mail is an old French word, maillet, and maillet is chain. So if you say chainmail, we're saying chain. It's a bit weird to think about it. Either way, it's made of thousands of interlinking steel rings to make it incredibly flexible but very strong net. And this is great protection against cutting and slashing attacks. No matter how sharp the sword is, be it a Saxon blade or even a Japanese katana, you will not cut through this. You'll just annoy the person underneath. However, because it's flexible, even though you're not cutting into the body, you're still hitting it with significant force. So you run the risk of broken bones and internal bleeding. So underneath the mail shirt, you would ideally wear a padded jacket or a gambeson. They're made of lots of layers of fabric, and even the gambeson alone can provide some protection against cuts and a modicum of protection against thrusts. And that's really where I'm vulnerable to. A good thrusting attack with a tapered blade, such as the spear. A good strong thrust may well break the links of this shirt and turn me into a very expensive looking shish kebab. There you go. Now on my head I've got a helm. Now helms are still quite rare, as our shirt male. This particular one made of a single piece of steel, but many helmets of the time are likely to have been made using an iron or steel frame with panels of steel riveted to fill in the gaps. I've got a nasal here to protect the front of my face from slashing attacks, and two decorative eyebrows. Who doesn't like fancy eyebrows? At the back, I've got another adder tail of mail, and this just protects the back of my neck in case someone gets behind me. Now, my primary weapon today is the sword. It's a single-handed, broad-bladed weapon with two sharp, cutting edges, because that's what it's designed to do. I'm going to try and hack, I'm going to try and slash through my opponents. It does have a sharp point on it, so I can use it for thrusting as well, but that's not really what it's designed to do. Now, against armoured opponents, once again, I ain't cutting through this, but a good blow, remember, could break someone's arm or the ribs. I don't have to worry about that today, because it was a very poor farmer who picked a fight with me, and he's got no armour whatsoever. So if I can get past that spear, he's in a lot of trouble.
That's a big if.
That is a big if. The problem that I have is that wearing this armour, I'm going to get tired quicker. Now, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I would have been training this for a relatively young age, so I'm fit enough to wear it for a long period of time. Regardless, she isn't wearing any. So you do have that slight speed advantage and an advantage in dexterity. Shall we see how it plays out and if it really gives you a winnable advantage or not?
Alright, so we'll work through the fight for you. Some of the fight we showed you earlier, and we'll show you where our logic for the attacks and defences comes from. So, as the two of us come into a guard position here, we wouldn't necessarily, if it was a duel, presumably you would because the fight's got to begin somewhere. So from here I've got two choices. I can go over or I can go under the shield. If I go under the shield, that leg is a very, very tempting target. I could even try in there for the groin area. But the problem is, even with a spear, if I step into hit and he's fast enough to get out of the way, he can hit me possibly on the head coming in. So I'm not going to risk that since I have no armour at all. So I'm going to go over the top of the shield. All I'm trying to do really is to put him off, to get him moving, but if I can, to stab him in the arm.
I step off to the side of the shield. Now for my opening attack, I'm actually going to thrust towards the groin and the femoral artery. If I pierce the artery, he's done for in a matter of seconds.
No, step back from that, beat the sword aside. Now I use the butt end of the spear and try and crack him one right on the head. He's wearing a helmet, but a good belt from this could stun him, put him off, allow me time to get in close.
Keeping that shield raised, I step backwards. Now, a thrust didn't work, but this time the hand has to go, so I'm going to try and put his hand off at the wrist.
Whoa, jump back for that.
Oh, good, because you can get out of the way. Yeah, your hands, however, are nice in line, not only with each other, but the throats as well. Without a windpipe, I don't think you'll win.
Yeah, so jump back again. And here's the problem, he's forcing me back into a corner. Now, some martial artists will tell you the best place to be in a fight is a corner, but, you know, that's a matter of opinion. I don't like the thought of being stuck where I can't move. So as he's preparing, I bet you do. So as he's preparing the next move, I take an opportunistic jab. He's forced to defend. I get a chance to run back into the wider combat area, and the two of us get a chance to size each other up again. So, I found now that my spear, which is really a thrusting weapon, isn't doing so well when I'm thrusting with it. So is there anything else I can do with it? And the answer is yes. What I can do is essentially turn it into a big old two-handed sword. Because if I quickly switch my grip to the butt end, I can whirl it and try and slash his legs, or better still, take his legs out from underneath him and drop him on the ground. Well, that doesn't work, but I simply keep the momentum going, and this time I want to belt him as hard as I can across the upper part of the body to try and knock him off balance.
Raise the shield and protect yourself, ideally ducking underneath that attack. Now I'll send the sword forward, right across the back of his neck.
I beat that up and away, whip the blade round, and this time I'm trying to belt him in the back of the head or the neck.
Tactical retreat.
Yeah, I got you on the run, haven't
You have a little bit, yeah.
I have a whirling spear to do that.
This is the thing, even with all this armour, I don't want to get caught by a spear moving at speed. However, this seems to be luring my opponent into a false sense of security. That spear is nice and close to me now. If I can get past that spear, I've got a huge advantage. So I'm taking the initiative this time. I'm stepping in, knocking his spear aside, and taking his leg off at the knee.
Yeah, I jump away from that, but I don't jump too far. Because actually, I was hoping he was going to do that. Because look how close he is, and look where his weapons are. Still, I'm not trusting the first hit or striking. So what I'm going to do is an attack followed very, very swiftly by another attack in the same line. So 1, 2.
Alright, so blocking both the sword and shield. You'll notice the sword is outside and shield. To end the fight in this position, all I need to do is send the sword straight down and turn his fingers into tiny finger-shaped sausages. You ready?
Yeah, alright.
And goodbye, fingers.
No, because I see it coming and I wrench my hand back. Problem is, neither my hands nor my weapons are now in a useful place.
Which is great for me. I have momentum, I have that advantage. I'm now going to strike him on top of the head and hopefully cleave his skull in two.
Well, so what I do is I stop that blow before it gains too much momentum. Problem is, it brings me in very close.
Yeah, which is what I want. And actually, I've had a few thoughts. Yes, I've got lots of options. In fact, my first favourite one.
No, what's this carry on? Can I just do what you want?
Yeah, well, I can do that. All's fair in love and war. Even a kick.
No. No? For the simple reason, if you do that and get it wrong, we won't be able to do another fight this afternoon. Let's glue together.
That's good. Alright, fine. I won't kick him, but for the sake of argument, I could have done. I could have used the pommel to strike him in the chin, but I don't really see what advantage that will give me. So instead, I'll use the shield offensively. In reality, I'm likely to use the rim of the shield and give him a good old crack on the jaw, but like Keith said, we do have other fights to do later on, so I won't do that. So I'll use the flat of the shield to strike him in the stomach, and before he has a chance to really recover, bring the sword around and finish him off.
Alright, now, as you saw earlier, that brilliant plan didn't entirely work. Because I did wind up winning the first round.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you would like a chance of a rematch.
Well, yeah, I just thought you moved, so.
Okay, no. You are not allowed to kick me in the unmentionable, alright? It's not allowed.
I promise I won't kick you, wink.
You've got some flag up your sleeve, haven't you? Okay, here's the challenge. We go through the fight. At the moment I defeat you, you get out of the way. Before I defeat you, then we carry on for a few more moves.
Alright, okay, so you still want to get that move in then?
I still want to get that move in.
Okay, just having.
But it doesn't make sense, does it? If I won the first time, I won the first time. You've got to get out to stop me winning.
Right. And no kicking.
No kicks.
Alright. I promise.
Yeah! Another one of your tactical retreats, eh?
Yeah, well, it worked, didn't it? Besides, feeling more confident this time.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yes, you are feeling confident. This farm boy should never be underestimated.
Well, I'll tell you what, what have you got?
We don't want to surrender.
Not a chance.
It's going to be easy on both of us.
Not a chance.
Right. Strike me in the unmentionables.
I promised I wouldn't kick you. You know.
You dirty, sneaky Viking.
I think you'll find you mean to say, welcome to England.
Welcome to England.
Good choice. And light-hearted demonstration. We're going to stick around for a few minutes if you have any questions. I'm afraid I cannot let you hold on or touch the equipment just because of ongoing COVID regulations, which I know is a bit rubbish, but hopefully we'll get through it soon. Otherwise, if you don't know what's going on throughout the day, do chat to our group of house team. They know what's happening throughout the museum. Otherwise, for myself, Mike, and Keith, thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah.
Guess who's gone to her dad's?
What's that?
Guess who's gone to her dad's?
That's
And all that